Good morning, good evening, good all the things. Hey, I am Catie Brannon, and this is Tea Time True Crime with Catie, where we talk about things all true crime in a very positive kind of manner. Now, when I say positive, I have white candles lit around me. I have very powerful crystals around me. I've also been, I do like a prayer, like some kind of blessing to just please let this be okay to talk about, especially some true crime cases I try to talk about and I immediately am shut out. I feel, don't talk about me. But some cases, they grab me, almost hit me in the chest. This one I'm going to be talking about is a well-known one, and we're going to be in Virginia again, which is scary because this is one of the places that had the lowest crime rates in Virginia. I'm going to be talking about Farmville, okay? And this horrible crime happened in 2009 during MySpace days. Just want to let you know that this is viewer discretion is advised. I'm going to be using language, very upsetting topics. Please grab a snack, have a comfort item, and, grab something that just makes you feel good. Today I have a present from my friend from a while ago. It's just a little plushie, and it's a cute little witch, and it's very, very squishy and comfortable. So I'm just going to give a hug, and we are going to talk about the quadruple murder, which is technically a serial killer. And this dude was only 20 years old. Before I talk about this story, I'm going to talk about hopefully one day manifesting a sponsor is the product called Glamnetic. Apparently it is a woman-made company, but when I get the product, it does say made in China. It's distributed in China, which I don't know how you feel about that, but Good American Jeans by Khloe Kardashian, some items are made in China as well, but I wear them almost every podcast. They are acrylic nails. They are so easy to apply. Just make sure you match the nail to your nail bed, and it comes with everything. It comes with the buffer. It comes with the glue. It comes with an alcohol wipe to sanitize your nail bed before you start this process. These nails last me over 2 weeks, and they're $20. So it is, it was New Year's. Happy New Year. 2024, people, let's do it. Okay, so this is called 24K, which is it's clear. It reminds me of a light pink, bubble bath, and then it's just these really cute confetti looking gold foil on the tips. So I think it's very pretty, very fashionable, and I get the short ones. I don't get the long ones because I cannot work with those. Pardon me, you guys. And then I just love the short nails. So I'm yawning because I'm not tired. I've just been crying, and I don't know if you cry, of course, cry. Wow. I don't know if you yawn after you cry, but if I cry a lot and I'm just trying to calm down, my body goes into defense mechanism and I start to yawn. So I just figured that recently about myself. Yeah, but definitely check out Glamnetic. I was spending $80 to $100 on my nails, and I got them changed every few weeks, which is great. But what I mostly love about them, God for goodness, they break or something, or you just peel off the glue. I bought something from Amazon. It's a nail filer. It's electric. It was $9. I put it on the lowest setting. Watch what you're doing, and I just scrape out all the glue. And then what I do is just wait a day for my nails to be ready, and then I just boom, new nails, and I get compliments wherever I go. My hubby loves his back scratched, so these nails are awesome. So definitely check them out, you guys. All right, enough with the rambling. Definitely check out Glamnetic and treat yourself or treat anyone who likes their nails done. I mean, come on. Promo code Catie Brannon, you get money off. So, and DM me. I want to see your nails. I want to see your cute nails. Do that, please. Especially, I want some positivity, especially after researching this case, because this is like absolutely horrible. So we're going to be, again, talking about Farmville, Virginia, a quadruple murder. So we have to bring it back. Yeah, we got to bring it back to a year before when Ragdoll, it was her name on MySpace. Her name was Emma Niederbach. Yes, Emma Niederbach. At this time, she was only 15 years old, and she was feeling kind of outcastish. She was the only child of Mark and Deborah, and they were the kind of parents, well, Mark was a pastor, and Emma was like a sociology criminologist professor at Longwood University. So very intelligent family. But they recently have been going through a separation kind of period, and it was very, very hard on Emma. Now, the parents were very supportive, maybe perhaps too supportive. Today's podcast, the tea I'm going to be drinking is a surprise from my hubby, and it looks like it's my favorite cherry blossom with a dash of honey. Oh man, that's good. And I got a little warmer for Christmas, so now I'm going to put my tea on the warmer and have hot tea throughout the podcast. It's pretty awesome. I'm not going to lie. That was really cool surprise. The mug I'm drinking is from Sundance 2011. One of the best times of my life. Has a snowflake on it, and it says "Be There" inside the cup. So already Emma's parents are very supportive. And I don't mean to Judge Judy here, but it's like Emma wasn't very happy a lot, especially after the divorce. She actually was homeschooled for a period of time. She did start to show, a rebellion. She's a teenager. I feel like all teens rebel in some type of way. So she got really into this type of genre of music called horrorcore. It's basically music that is like rapping. Yeah, like not like hip hop or rap, I mean kind of, but except in like a horror movie kind of theme where they talked about killings, cannibalism, blood, gore, just not a good time. And I'm not here to judge anyone's taste of music because I would be the last person to judge because my taste of music is very questionable. No, I'm not going to say that. A lot of people of this case blame the type of music she was listening to, and they said that it was she was drawn to this type of massacre. But that's not fair because 9 times out of 10, people who I've met in the horror genre or the heavy metal or, they are the sweetest people that you would ever meet. They are like teddy bears and they want hugs. So you can't blame music for this type of situation. The main thing I would definitely blame is for the murderer himself and for mental disease. Mark Niederbach was a pastor. He also was an Eagle Scout. He was actually born in Illinois, and he was born in the middle of March, which Pisces. Now, the wife, Deborah, she also, she was born in October. Nope. The end, here it is, the end of September. So Libra. Emma was born in the beginning of October, and that makes her a Libra. Now, Psycho Sam. His name was actually Richard Samuel Krosberg. Sorry, like, to me, he wasn't even, I don't know, like, he's not a person to me. He's just, I don't know what he is. He's a monster. But he was a 20-year-old amateur horrorcore rapper and graphic designer, Richard Alden Samuel McCrowski III. And he was also known as Psycho Sam. Yes. So Psycho Sam and Emma were talking in 2008. So by that time, I think she's only like 15 and he's like 19. Yeah, kind of creepy. But they met on a website, a horrorcore website, where you have Razakel, that called Raz, and Sicktanic. They are festival musicians that are hip-hop artists, rappers that, you know, rap in the horrorcore kind of genre. I guess to give you an example, for me, it's not like the most hardcore, but Insane Clown Posse. They would kind of be known for that. But there is Cannibal Corpse. There is other musicians as well. It's just basically hip hop, just rapping about horrific, brutal things. They talk in bloody kind of language, imagery. But, you know, so I was researching, like, because this Psycho Sam literally turned out to be a psycho. Now, he wasn't really into music, which I feel like that is a big red flag. And hold on, I know he was a rapper. I know he loved horrorcore, but I'm talking about before that, like when he was younger. When he was younger, he wasn't really into music until his father turned on Korn. Yes, one of my favorite bands as well. So he was listening to Korn and was like loving it. And, you know, the father was thinking, all right, don't tell your mom, you know, this is my stuff. And, you know, and then another thing he made him listen to was the Great Milenko ICP, which that is one of the best albums in my opinion. And then, you know, Psycho Sam loved the music. As soon as he heard it, he like took the CD, burned it, and that was it. So he went into like this kind of it just got more and more hardcore in the genre. He was known to be bullied at school horribly for being a redhead and also being overweight. And he just felt completely rejected. He actually dropped out of school. He was tired of school. So when he dropped out, like I said, he became like a graphic designer, and he would help the rap artists design art for the label, for the music and stuff like that. So again, like these people know each other. So they're talking and stuff like that. And before that all happens, before she starts talking to him, Razakel and Sicktanic, you know, they're on MySpace, and there's this small community, and they talk to their fans like their family, not even friends, like family. So as you would imagine, you guys, this hit them really, really hard. I mean, even today, I think it's still like they can't wrap their head around it, because what's scary is that Psycho Sam, or Sam, was the kind of kid that like people like pushed over. He was to himself. He was, you know, shy, and he would like never hurt a fly apparently. So to commit these brutal acts is still questions that many people have to this day. So, as I said, before she met Sam on MySpace on the internet, she was talking to Razakel and Sicktanic. She actually told him she's a big fan of theirs, loves their music. And like I said, that small community is like a family. So then Razakel introduces Ragdoll / Emma to Melanie. Melanie Wells is in West Virginia, 200 miles away from Farmville. And she is really excited to talk to Emma. And they start talking. And then when they finally met in person, which during all this is happening, both parental figures know what's happening. They know that their daughters have met online and are going to become apparently really good friends. When they did meet, it just, like Razakel said, it was like they've been friends forever. They're extremely close. Now, everything is good. And then, I was wondering how she actually met Sam because, World Wide Web, WWW. Am I right? Well, Emma put out a video to Raz and to say, like, how much she loves the music and how much, she loves them and all that. Just really amazing admiration for these artists. So she gets her permission and she goes, oh, can I post it on my MySpace website? And yeah, Emma is totally honored. She's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Which, I mean, come on, guys. Isn't that cool? Like, you're a teenager. You found this band, you're like feeling that you belong somehow, even though like you're an outcast, and they're being friends with you. And again, the parents know this. I mean, it's not a secret. I don't know if they knew that she shared the video online, but when she did that, Psycho Sam saw her. And Psycho Sam wanted to see her. Yeah, Psycho Sam is very fitting. I'm not going to call him by his name. I'm going to call him by his MySpace name, even though he probably goes by Sam in prison. So they start talking, and it's going well, like Sam and Emma, but it's weird, because you look back, he's 19 and she's 15. What? I know. It's weird. So she starts, like, rebellion, being rebellious and everything, and, she tells her mom, like, hey, there's this huge festival coming, and I really want to see my boyfriend. I'm going to meet him in person. We've been talking for a year. And of course, the parents are like very leery about it. They actually are not, they don't like the disturbing imagery that she's in. Horrorcore is really not their type of music, but they really want to support their daughter. Okay, so remember, she's talking to this guy for like a year. And, there's some, you can go on MySpace right now and look up their pages. I know. I was like, what? Yeah. And, they're into some dark stuff. Again, guys, she's a teenager. Let me know down in the comments below. What freaky stuff are you into? I'll be completely open and say I was onto vampirefreaks.com. Do you remember that site? I remember a poetic site. I think I did, like, Gothic Tears, that I would write all my poetry. I talked to people online, and I remember one day my mom was really upset, and she was just furious. And I thought I was talking to someone who was my age, and I thought we were into the same things, but I don't know how my mom got, like, anything out of him. Apparently I was talking to somebody from Germany, and he was older. So, yeah, I got screamed at, and then I was scared too, but, internet is internet, and social media, MySpace is MySpace, and again, you really don't know who you're talking to, especially when you're a teenager. You gotta be really, really wary and safe, even though today it is very normal to meet somebody on Tinder or Bumble, Hinge. I mean, I have a few of my friends that met, like, the love of their life on Tinder. So, I mean, do you, boo-boo. But I feel like when you're a teenager and you're on those sites, you are going to attract something. Not because of the subject, but if you put yourself out there online, you really don't know who you're talking to. And sadly, she had no idea who she was talking to. But the parents were leery. They were like, they didn't like the disturbing content, but again, they love their daughter. And even though, the father had his own house at the time, they still were very good at co-parenting. One day she goes up to her mom and just talks about this festival that she is really into, but it is like almost a 10-hour drive. Yeah, 10 hours to go to a concert. What? Yeah. And she was so excited. She talked to her dad, and her dad was like, "Did you ask your mother?" So the mother and dad had a meeting, and they said, "Listen, you can go to this, but we're driving you." Yeah, the mom and dad were in the car driving almost 9 hours to the festival. And also, not only that, she wanted her online boyfriend Sam to come with, who she was madly in love with, and he had to come. And the parents agreed. They did. I know. They thought they knew him, and they invited such an evil in their home. Like, you can't even comprehend, you guys. Like, I still can't even comprehend. So they go to the festival, and if you guys heard about the story, there is a lot on it. There is. But I've also wanted to do way more research because I had so many questions, especially when I heard when he was found, he had hickeys on his neck. So I'm like, where the hell did he get these hickeys from? So at the festival, they all meet each other. Even Razakel, Satanic, Sam, Emma, Melanie. I mean, the parents are there. And again, that is so cool, like meeting your idols in a way. And they all really got along. Now, when she picked him up, like, because Sam was from California. Yes. So Sam had a flight all the way to Virginia, and his plan was to go to the festival and spend a week. Yes. Spend a week with Emma. I know. Now, Melanie and Emma go to the airport to pick up Sam. She is so excited to meet the love of her life. Okay? And, I mean, if you read those messages, you guys, they were very heartfelt and devotion. There was definitely feelings there from both sides. Now, I shall say, Psycho Sam, he perceived himself on the internet a very different way than how she met him. I read that she took a look at him and was not attracted to him. False, because, she knew what he looked like. She did. But his personality, his aura did not match with what she thought. Now, Psycho Sam came off the internet as this bigwig, overconfident, into horrorcore. I mean, he's a horrorcore rapper. He was actually kind of talented if you listen to his music. It wasn't that bad. It did have potential if you are into the horrorcore type of thing. So when she was meeting him, she was going to be like, I'm going to meet this tough guy that's going to take care of me, who is confident, and who is, that's not who she met at the airport, you guys. Sam was insecure. He was very just, like I said, the aura was not there. He was very awkward, quiet, kind of had his head down. Just did not perceive who she fell in love with over the internet. Yeah. Awkward. I know. So, Emma is being a good sport, honestly, and the parents still drive Sam almost 9 hours to the festival. And they spend the night at a hotel. The two girls, I believe, had their own room. Sam had his own. I believe everyone had their own rooms. But yeah, the parents were very clear that Sam could not sleep. in the same room with the girls. Duh, right? So, yeah, I don't know, guys. I was like, I told my mom, and I remember this, it just came back to me, Web of Lies. Remember that ID show? I think the episode is, I saw it recently while doing research. Season 1, episode 6. Yes. And they do a really good job of it. I bawled because you can see Kathleen, which is Mel's mom, and see how she blames herself. It's really, really sad. So during the concert, you guys, there are like some like different kind of answers, but let me give it to y'all straight. I found out that Psycho Sam, yes, him and Emma did not vibe. They did not vibe at all. And it's like hours of concert. It's a festival, okay? It is like 10 hours or something like that. It's a lot of music. But Sam found some girl and they were making out. And so much so that he had hickeys on his neck. So Sick Panic was like, kind of confused about the whole thing because, Emma saw this and they looked at each other and it was like, whatever, because like she didn't like him anymore, because he wasn't who, she thought he was. So she was like flirting with like another guy and whatever, right? So I don't know. You guys, one thing we do not know 100% is what was talked about in the 9-hour drive to the festival. Not just going there, you guys, but coming back. I'm sure, like, coming back, everyone is so tired. Because even though you spent the night at a hotel, you partied all day and all night at the festival. So you got to drive almost 9 hours home. So by the time they all go home, Mark dropped them off. And so it was Debbie, Emma, and Mel, and Sam. And they go into the Farmville house. And nobody would ever expect in a million years. Like, even Sick Panic said that he would believe that someone random did what was done than what Sam would ever do. Because Sam he was awkward and he was quiet, but they thought he was a polite young man. Like, he would never, so, yeah. Well, that night, again, we don't know what they talked about in the 9 hours. Am I blaming them? No, I am not. But I'm trying to figure out what threw him over the edge to do what he did. Because what he did, you guys, was so unspeakable. Like, it's hard to talk about. Even today, even though the crime happened in 2009, the police will still not release what they saw. We only know about, like, the main things, but we don't know why the other weapons were used. I know. We thought it was just one thing, but no. All right, so, Mark drops him off, and everyone goes to bed. Melanie falls asleep on the couch. Mom is upstairs in the bedroom, and Emma is in her room. Now, I wasn't sure where he was supposed to sleep. I'm guessing if she's in the living room, he must be in a sleeping blanket or something like that on the floor. Who knows? But that night, he took prescription pills, drank alcohol, and smoked marijuana. Yeah, that doesn't seem like a good trip at all. So then he starts, like, wandering in the backyard and notices a wood pile and sees it's like a wood splitting mole. So the easiest way to explain that, it's like an axe, you guys, but it's also like a sledgehammer. So I can't say exactly a sledgehammer because it's not a sledgehammer, but it was used to cut wood. So it's not quite an axe, but I feel like it's a family of the axe, and it's like an 8-pound kind of weapon. Now, what he does is he grabs the wood-splitting mole and he goes automatically to poor Melanie sleeping on the couch and crushes her skull. I know. Then, this is what doesn't make sense. People say that he then went upstairs and then killed Deborah, smashed her in the skull. And then after that, the last person, he went into Emma's room where she was sleeping, like the rest of the women were. And he smashed her skull as well. Now, another report says that Emma was killed second, and then he went up the stairs to kill the mother. And if you're wondering what I was wondering, how the hell was no one screaming? How the hell was, no one woke up and fought back? Because it's really sad, because it's a horrific event, and I cannot imagine the horror the loved ones have felt. But everyone was so tired. And they were really tired and sleeping, and all three of them were really heavy sleepers. That's why I kind of think that Deborah was kind of killed last. Because if you're walking up the stairs, especially like a kind of movement that you're not used to, because remember, she didn't really know who Sam was. Emma didn't know who Sam was. So I feel that if she heard someone walk up the stairs, that had a different kind of walk, that's not her father, I think she would have woke up. I mean, I'm a very heavy sleeper, but if I hear like stairs, or if I hear something that I'm not used to, something that is like out of the ordinary, I will wake up. That's why I think that he killed Emma second, and then he killed the mother. Now, everyone's wondering, well, why? Why? I mean, I have no idea, honestly. A lot of people blame it on the jealousy of how he was treated by Emma. But as I told you before, that makes no sense, because he had hickeys on his neck when he was arrested. So he got over it pretty quickly. In his own words, he said that why he did it, he is taking it to the grave. Which I'm like, what? Again, maybe something was said. Maybe everything that he went through as a child, which, where he came from, his birthday, sorry, in late December, so he's a goat. I mean, not the actual goat, but Capricorn. So he complained about being bullied, and his family actually said that they never were huggy type of people, but he did love his sister very much. Now, after this has happened, what do you think is going to happen? Melanie's mom, Kathleen, my God, bless her heart, she is calling Psycho Sam, calling the house, trying to figure out where her daughter is. And you can hear the 911 calls on YouTube. It's so sad, because in the beginning, she's really trying to not think the worst. But man, when she finds out, it's awful. So the first time, this is weird, you guys. This is where the police this is where I'm very, very confused in this situation. The first time Kathleen is trying to, find her daughter, because when she called up there, Sam was giving her some weird BS answer. Then her husband actually drove down there, met what he thought was a neighbor, and the neighbor said that, his daughter went to the movies or something like that. So again, these go different kind of sequences. There are different stories about what was said, but basically he was lying to poor Kathleen. I think one of the times he said, oh, they're at the movies in Richmond, but of course Kathleen is thinking, my daughter would contact me. There is no reason why my daughter would not contact me. Yeah. And it's just so sad, guys. It's so sad. So then Sam talks to Kathleen and says that he's scared. And you're probably wondering, like, what are you talking about? Well, he's scared, you guys. He said he heard weird noises from the basement. And Kathleen, in her right mind, was like, well, then call the police if you hear weird noises. And you know what, you guys? He did. He called the police, even though there are 3 dead bodies in that house, which he is residing in. Yeah, I know. And I don't understand how police did not smell what they... So the police arrive. Sam shows them the basement, and they did not do a good job of, like, looking, or I don't know what the heck they did. I don't know if he just led them to the basement and that putrid smell that was starting to form. He may have said there is a death perfume, which I listened to Dr. Grande. Dr. Grande did research that said that there is a perfume that was called death or something, and the smell is supposed to be the smell of decomposition. Why would anyone want to... Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of the police not doing a thorough search. And I have to tell you that Sam was cool as a cucumber, which is terrifying. After you brutally bludgeon somebody, which, I hate to tell you this, guys, there was no defense wounds. So these women were sleeping, and they never woke up. Yeah, I know, I got the chills. I know, it's what? Oh, man. I'm just like, I'm trying not to cry, y'all. So he's in with the bodies, decomposing. Yeah. Can you imagine that smell? Oh my God, I can't even. So Kathleen calls Mark, and she's like, listen, have you heard from the girls? And Kathleen was saying that she heard the panic in his voice, and he goes, no, I haven't. Last time I heard from her was when I dropped her off at the house. He's like, I'm not that far. He goes, I'm like 20 minutes away. I'm going to go to the house, and I'll let you know. And Kathleen's like, okay, great. Awesome. But then she doesn't hear anything from Mark. And she is so confused. She's like, what is happening? And you have poor Melanie's brother, who loves his sister so much. In fact, he called her not even a sister, his best friend. The brother becomes so enamored of, like, what is going on here? Something is not right. But of course, Kathleen is just trying to be positive and trying to think like, oh my gosh, did they get in a car accident? What's going on? But never in our wildest dreams would she found out would actually be true. So during this time, Razakel and Sick Panic are getting calls from, Kathleen, Melanie's mom. And Razakel, in the beginning, Raz was just like, I'm sure everything is fine. Melanie's a really good kid. Emma's a really good kid. And then, she starts to like just trying to kind of think like, okay, I don't know, and she becomes to be totally like anxiety ridden. Like she just couldn't help it. Like until they like put everything on the MySpace and was trying to figure out where the heck is Melanie, where the heck is Emma, does anybody know? I mean, this was a big thing in the MySpace craze, especially for the horrorcore rap community. And sadly, horrifically, one of Sam's friends talked to Raz, and as soon as she heard what happened, Sick Panic, he said Raz fell to her knees. Like she couldn't like comprehend what happened. Like I can't imagine that. Like you literally were just with these kids, had a great time, talked to the parents, had amazing memories, and then a day later they're done. They're not in this earth anymore. That's just. And Sick Panic was like, what, what's going on? And then the guy was like, he killed everyone. I talked to Sam. He said he killed everybody. And of course, Sick Panic in the beginning was like, nah, man, this is horrorcore. Like he was thinking it was a prank. He couldn't like, make his mind feel that could happen, So again, he was like, dude, I swear to God, I will never talk to you again. I will ban you from the MySpace page. You better tell me the truth. And the guy was like, yeah, I talked to Sam. And, he told me he murdered, he killed everybody. And the community of the horrorcore rap community was just, they were in shock. In shock. Melanie's mother, call again, want to know where her daughter is, and he's on the phone, and Raz is just like, what do we say to her? And he had the phone down on his leg, and he's like, I don't know what to say to her. And then he grabs the phone, and she heard while the phone was down what Sick Panic said, and he was like, she's like, what do you know? And he thought he had no choice, which if you guys have a problem with it, let me know down in the comments below, but he gave those news. He gave the news that I think nobody ever in their life wants to give the news. He said something like, I'm so sorry, but your daughter is no longer here, or something like that, and she has been killed. And he said that Kathleen screamed so loud that this scream was like, he has never heard a scream like this before, and it was like primal. And when he talks about it, he like gets teared up in the eye. He goes, I will never forget that scream, ever. So I know it's awful. It's terrible. So they call the police again for a welfare check and to tell them what they know. Like, hey, you need to go in there for a welfare check. This time, the police went there and they were met with a grisly, grisly sight. And they found 4 bodies. I know, he got Mark. He got Mark. Now the three women, there were no defense wounds, but Mark, oh my God, the pastor Mark, he walked into his house, and I'm guessing he was calling for his, his child and his ex-wife, that he did still love, And he was ambushed by Sam. And he was murdered with the wood-splitting maul. But this time, when he was hit, Mark got back up. Yep. Mark got back up and tried to defend himself. But he was overcome. He was conquered. And Mark passed away brutally. It was so brutal, you guys. They said, like, blood just soaked the floor. And there was a huge dent in the floor from when stupid Sam was hitting him over and over again. And now they're saying there was a hammer involved in these murders. Again, this happened in 2009. Now it's 2024. Police will not release how the bodies were found. They just said that they were bludgeoned in the head and there was blood everywhere. And the smell was so bad that the neighbors were complaining. But when the police got there and saw this grisly sight, Sam was nowhere to be found. Not only was Sam with the bodies, the bloody bodies, he still had human remains on his clothing. Dried up human remains. He didn't have a shower or wash himself off, like his clothes. Maybe his face he washed off, but definitely not his clothing. So after he murdered Mark, he took Mark's wallet and stole $200 and began to steal Mark's vehicle, got in a car accident. Yep, karma. He actually went into a ditch. Yeah, he drove into a ditch. The police were called, but the police didn't know that he just murdered 4 people, but they let him go. How did they not smell him? So what they did was they gave him a ticket for not having his license. He was saying that he was driving his girlfriend's vehicle. Again, what I have to say is that Sam acted cool as a cucumber. There was no nervousness. He was nonchalant. He was laid back. He did not give any impression that he murdered 4 people. That blows my mind. That just literally blows my mind, because I feel like if he was nervous, if he looked like he had blood on his face, or, you know what I'm saying, stuttered maybe, any inclination that he murdered somebody, I'm sure the police would be like, you need to come with me, sir. You know what I'm saying? But no, it was none of that. The police left again. And they offered him they called a tow truck because he didn't have his license. So, they're like, well, where do you need to go? So he was going to go to a gas station. And then at the gas station, he was calling a taxi. But at the gas station, he smelled so bad, like the clerk said he wanted to throw up. He smelled like he had the devil on him, quote unquote. I don't know if it was the taxi driver or the tow truck driver. I think it was the taxi driver. But when he was in that vehicle, the smell was so bad, the driver actually threw up twice. So I just don't understand how the police didn't smell it. Unless he literally said, oh yeah, this smell, oh, it's a perfume. It smells like, decomposing bodies, doesn't it? Oh, God, that gives me the chills. Ugh. But yeah, in the taxi though, he was talking about and saying wonderful things about Emma and great things, very admirably, and saying how much he loved her and what a great person she is, and it was very weird. And if you have APD, antisocial personality disorder, you do this kind of thing. I do not know why. After you murder somebody, apparently, after you murder them, you talk very well of them. I do not know. So he wanted to get out of Virginia fast, and he went to the airport. He was almost there. But then he found out that his flight didn't leave until like the next day, and he didn't have enough money to change his ticket. So by this time, the horrorcore community is contacting the police and actually saying, hey, it's this guy. His name is Sam. That he goes by Psycho Sam. And they were sending him pictures like, hey, this is what he looks like. But thank goodness the security guard must have got a vibe, you guys. Because when he saw this dude at the airport, he was thinking, nah, man. I'm sure he still smelled because he still hasn't had a shower. Ew. Like, so much ew in this. So much ew and cringe in this case. It's unbelievable. So the security guard pretty much like held him there. You know, he was like staring at him, but like trying to make it not so obvious. Sam was very, very tired, like exhausted. And he just was like sleeping in the baggage claim, waiting for like, you know, the next plane, I'm guessing the next day. But like I said, thank goodness for the community of the horrorcore genre coming together from MySpace, sending him pictures where the police easily got him and he was apprehended. And, you know, he didn't really, there was really like no resist or anything like that. But of course, when they interrogated him, he immediately asked for an attorney, which means the interview was shut down. And, you know, you can see a video where a person, a journalist with a microphone is like, why did you do it? And he said, you know, Jesus told me to do it. Now, Sam's sister really believes that he was just sarcastic and, you know, just being a prankster or a dick. Now, I wanted to see if Sam had any remorse for what he'd done. When he was with the bodies, again, it's on YouTube. It's hard to add it, and I don't want to give you guys nightmares, but if you want to look it up, you're welcome to. Sam is actually doing a confession on a tape with the dead bodies around him. We don't see the bodies in the tape, but they're in the house where he's at. And he was explaining how, like, I'm sorry, I had to do it, stuff like that. And then at the end, he's like, one thing I gotta say is, fuck you, world, and fuck you. Just so much anger and rage. And when I watched that, my heart, it was just evil, guys. It was just, I was like, good God. Like, you're telling me from you being bullied and going through all this trauma, apparently when you're a child, you took it out on this innocent family who was kind to you. They were kind. They like drove you about almost 10 hours to a damn concert and then drove you back to make sure you were safe and had a roof over your damn head, and you go and massacre them. I just don't understand that. I don't get it. But he says he doesn't feel remorse because it's who he is. It had to be done. And if he would do it all over again, he would. What? Dude, he's 20 years old. Like, I just don't understand. So, he wanted the death penalty. He didn't want the death penalty. The family didn't want it. So he didn't want to go through a trial. Because if you went through a trial, pretty sure 9 times out of 10, you're going to die. Like, they're going to sentence you to death. So he did not want to go that route. He did the route of, he claimed guilty. So he has like 4 life sentences, over 600 years in prison. He's never going out. He's done. And I like to happily say, you guys, I know this is not happy, but maybe for you guys listening. So he is in this maximum prison with other murderers and horrible people, but he's having a hard time in prison, you guys. Yeah. And it's not because of the red hair, or maybe it is, who knows. But the main reason is not for like what he did, it's like how he did it. Like, okay, the bludgeoning and God knows what he did to those bodies for days, because it's not even on record. Yeah, I know. I know. And there were more weapons too. They said there were bloody knives, but no one's talking about that. Any other podcast or any video you hear the hammer. You hear that they were just smashed with the hammer. It's like 8 pounds. So when you're sleeping, he just, oh God, I don't know if he did the shining thing or just did I don't know. I get sick just talking about it. I'm sorry, you guys. Sorry. Okay. I was getting somewhere. I apologize. Okay, so the reason why they're mad is because he's a fucking coward. Like, you are a piece of for murdering somebody, yes, okay? But you're a bigger piece of because you literally murdered while they were sleeping. Like, Sick Panic says, if he went after them when they were awake, those girls would have fucked him up. They would have fucked him up so bad. And they would have won. Yeah. But the fact he did it while everyone was so tired, everyone was sleeping, that is such a coward way to go. And because of that, they mess with him in prison, you guys. Yes, they mess with him hard. I think a few times he's been in solitary confinement. People do not like him. But there is a interview on YouTube about an ex-con that was with him for 90 days. And he weirdly was saying that he was a polite man. But the whole time he was there, he went to bed with his eye, like one eye open. He barely slept those 3 months because he was scared to death because this dude murdered people in their sleep. Yeah. I know. Yeah, that is a really rough case. I have so many questions and there's not many answers. And Psycho Sam isn't saying crap. So, except he says that the real reason he will take it to the grave. What could possibly be so bad that you had to butcher an innocent family? Yeah. What do you guys think about this case? Please let me know down in the comments below. And I know it's annoying for YouTubers to say this, but I am a girl in a box. What's up? And I am a YouTuber, and I do my research, and I love you guys so, so much. But if you are interested in true crime in a different kind of way, like me, then, I like you. Hit that like, subscribe, and hit the bell for the notifications. I really, really appreciate it. It means so, so much. Please remember, you guys, that you are loved and you are cherished, okay? And remember, you are doing better than you think. Bye.
I'm the Clipchamp.